Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you, he will never leave you nor forsake you. Deuteronomy 31 verse 6, in the face of adversity, the concept of courage takes on a significant role in the lives of believers. Biblical courage is not mere bravery or the absence of fear but rather an unwavering trust in God and reliance on his strength to guide us through difficult times. The Bible offers numerous examples of individuals who displayed this kind of courage, even when faced with life-threatening circumstances or seemingly insurmountable obstacles. One such example is found in the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. 3 Israelite men who were thrown into a fiery furnace by King Nebuchadnezzar for refusing to worship his idol, Daniel 3. These men courageously proclaimed their faith in God, saying, "If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your majesty's hand. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up." Daniel 3 verses 17 to 18. Their unwavering faith in God's provision and protection allowed them to face certain death without fear. Another biblical example is found in the story of Joseph, who was sold into slavery by his own brothers and later falsely accused and imprisoned, Genesis 39 to 40. Despite these hardships, Joseph remained steadfast in his faith, trusting that God had a plan for his life. He ultimately rose to become the second most powerful man in Egypt and played a critical role in saving both Egypt and his own family from famine. Courage in the face of adversity is not just about enduring suffering, it's also about demonstrating love. Instead, he showed remarkable courage by trusting in God's plan, maintaining his integrity, and offering wisdom to those around him even while suffering unimaginable hardships. Genesis 37 to 50. Another biblical figure who epitomized courage was Daniel. Faced with a death sentence for refusing to bow down to the king's image or abandon his worship of God, Daniel displayed an unshakable faith and steadfastness before King Darius, Daniel 6 verses 1 to 28. Despite the grave consequences, he clung tightly to his beliefs and relied on divine intervention. His courageous actions served as a powerful testimony for God's people. Esther, too, showed great bravery when faced with an almost certain death sentence. In her role as queen, she risked everything to plead for the safety of her people before King Xerxes, Esther 4 verse 16. By choosing to stand up against injustice and placing trust in God's providence, Esther's courageous actions ultimately led to the salvation of her people. In the New Testament, we encounter Stephen, one of the first Christian martyrs, who stood firm before a hostile council that condemned him to death for his faith, Acts 7 verses 54 to 60. Despite knowing he was about to be stoned, Stephen's courageous actions and steadfast faith in God provided an inspiring example for early Christians. These are just a few examples from the Bible of people who demonstrated remarkable courage in the face of adversity. By drawing strength from their unwavering relationship with God and clinging to their faith, they became powerful examples for us to follow when we face trials in our own lives.